She always did. It was underneath the lights. She felt pretty safe there. And it never was taken. So oddly, one night, as she pulled into her little street where the apartment was, she noticed that her parking space had been taken. So she drove around looking for a closer parking space, but the only parking space available was one that was in the darkest part of the parking lot. Now, she had gone to the laundromat earlier and had some folded laundry in the back seat. So she decided, okay, well, it's getting late. It was like 11 o'clock in the evening. And she reaches back and grabs her laundry, and as she does, she hears the door open and a man gets in beside her, and he says to her, "I just need your car. So if you let me use your car, nothing bad will happen to you." And he said, "Well, why don't you just take my car?" He said, "Just drive." And he had a big knife. So then on the way, they stopped to get his friend. And when he got into the car, she knew immediately that something bad was about to occur. This other man was a lot more, how do I say this? A lot more intimidating looking than the other one. These were two men she did not know. They did not know Alison by any means. She was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, I guess. Kind of thing. All because her parking spot was taken. So they tell her that they're going to use her car for a while, and they put her in the back seat, and they start to drive. Well, she realizes that they're driving way out of town and into South Africa. There is city, and then desert, just miles of empty desert, and roads where people can just go and drive. And the thing was, she just felt this dread, this fear. So they drive out, way out of town, about 20 minutes outside of any major road. And think about that. You're all alone with these two big men. And they drag you out to the middle of nowhere. They say, "Get out to the car." And she says, "Okay." And they said, "Do you care if we have sex with you?" She thought that was a strange thing to ask somebody you're about to sexually assault. But she said no, thinking, okay, we'll get this over with and they'll be gone. So they both rape her and sodomize her. And then the one guy pulls out a knife way up to right below her breastbone, her clavicle. So she's now lying there bleeding. And the one guy comes back and he says, well, what if she's not dead? This is after he cuts her right. He actually takes this huge 12-inch to 14-inch knife out, she said, and slices her throat. And the whole time this is happening, she's looking up at the stars, thinking about her mom. She's kind of out of her body. I mean, that's the only way you'd be able to not go into shock, I'd imagine. She prays to God that they are going to leave. She can feel her intestines like resting on her hands as she stares up at the stars. And she's kind of like out of her body after a while, after this abuse was going on. And she said she just was looking down on herself. And for some reason she said, I'm not going to let them win, no matter how bad it was. Well, it was pretty bad, because when Alison went to stand up, literally she felt her guts out all over. And so she scoops them up out in the sand. You know, she's just kind of scooping them up and holding them in the best she can, because she figures she's gonna die if she stays there. Because the men had finally left. They figure after they almost decapitated her that she's definitely dead. Well, she wasn't. And she's a fighter. So knowing that it's probably 20 minutes to the nearest road, and it's night, so where cars would even begin to see her, she gets up and she's looking at the stars, and she can't stop. Even though she's standing up, she realizes they had severed her head to the point where she had to lift her head back up so she could actually see where she was going. So here is this woman who's been raped, stabbed many, many times, gutted, and her head almost completely severed off, and she is walking. I mean, stumbling, she said, as she went, but nonetheless, she was walking to a main road, or she was trying to get to a main road. That was her main goal. And all she wanted to do was make it so she knew that her mom would know what happened to her. At some point, she didn't even care if she died. She just wanted somebody to find her, because where she was, there's no way anybody would have found her body. That's how far out in the middle of nowhere she was. And so she is almost losing all faith and hope. She's holding her entrails She's got her head held up by her one hand, by the other hand, and she's bleeding profusely. She knows she cannot live much longer. So she gets actually enough strength, she falls down, and then she says, no, I am not going to die, because she sees this road maybe a half a mile away, and she says, there is no way, after walking all that way, I'm going to let them win. So she picks herself up and she gets to the road, and she literally lays herself down in the road. Just lays herself out and figures, you know what? Somebody will either have to kill me or they're gonna have to pick me up. And it just happened to be a young man who was studying to become a veterinarian and knew a little bit about the body. So he kind of helped her, resituate her abdomen and her intestines a little bit, and drove her to the hospital. He got her there, and there was a doctor from Germany there, and he was just leaving. When he saw Alison, he said he couldn't, in all good conscience, just leave because he was the best. He just happened to be, and this is like, it gives me chills because it just was walking out the door, and he didn't even work at that hospital. He was a specialist gastrointestinal doctor. He takes hours cleaning her out. I mean, he has to pull all of her intestines out because there's so much sand inside of her intestines that one piece of sand will cause an infection, and she'd probably be septic and die. Spends hours meticulously washing her intestines, and then he actually puts them back together, meticulously and perfectly. They sewed her head back on. The reason she was still alive is because all the stab wounds, and even the slicing of her head and throat, all of them had miraculously missed all her major arteries. Is that not the most crazy thing the craziest thing you've ever heard? Because when I heard this story, I was, floored, for one. But two, that she walked 20 miles, and then another half a mile to get to just where she could lie down in the road, hoping either somebody would run her over or take her to the hospital. And it just happened to be a man practicing to be a veterinarian. He wasn't a vet quite then. He is today, though. The interesting thing is that she remembers everything about those men. And she describes them perfectly. Of course, within hours, they have to interview her, and, she does. She's got a tube down her throat, and the nurse is like, look, can this not wait? She's just gone through this traumatic surgery, and Alison literally pulls the breathing tube out herself. This is the kind of person she is, just an incredible human being. And says, I want to tell you she was dead. And I can see their names in my head. I'm actually reading, presenting this from memory. But I will put up their names on the board. And literally, they get him. The one guy works, I think, as a nurse, and the other guy is kind of just like, he doesn't do much. Who knows, petty crimes or whatever. But they arrest them, and they are floored that she was still alive. They even said, how could she possibly be alive? I beheaded her. And they had her so far out in the middle of nowhere that there was no way they thought she could make it. But this woman's sheer determination to make it back, at least to where her mother would know where her body was so incredible. Can you imagine? Now, I know this is an old story, but many people have not heard it. And I like to tell this story even to my daughter, because it not only shows such how determination and the mind can be such a powerful vessel, a powerful tool when you are at your lowest. And I would say that was at her lowest in her life. Alison actually today goes and she travels around. She talks, she gives speeches about, her story, but she also gives speeches about how to, safety, that she should have just gone to her mother's house or some friend's house and waited. She knew in the back of her mind that night that something was wrong, because after so long of living there, she had never had a problem, right? Or she never had her parking spot taken, and it just happens that night their parking spot was taken. I'll put them both in there. They were both caught almost immediately and put in prison. Of course, getting life sentences. But the doctor said it was a miracle she even made it to the hospital. Secondly, it was a miracle that there was a specialist there that actually could who had the knowledge and who could take the time and did take the time to meticulously clean out her intestines. He said were full of sand and dirt and debris. That right there, one tiny little piece of sand can cause septic. So it can make somebody septic. So think about that. It can cause sepsis. One tiny piece of sand. And yet he took, we have lots of feet, believe me, a lot of intestines to go through. She was holding her large and small intestines in her hand. And I think even her stomach. I mean, from her, right where her breastbone is, down all the way to her pelvis. It's an amazing story, but she goes around today, and I just saw a picture of her. I guess that's why I wanted to do this story. I just saw a picture of her with the man who saved her, and he is just the gentlest, nicest looking man. He did graduate. He's a veterinarian. But he said, I'll never forget that is automatically his veterinarian training kicked in, and he was like, okay, we can't take you like this. We gotta, was your head? It needs to be on so I can drive. So, I mean, due to his specialty, the specialist who was at the hospital that wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, everything. If there was ever proof that there was a God, she said that it would have had to have been then. Because, I mean, the doctors, they just were completely shocked that she did not die of shock. And the fact she had to walk all those miles, and I keep repeating this, but I guess because it is such a crazy, I've never heard of anybody surviving that. She's a beautiful woman, and just probably the most determined human being I've ever known, or I've ever read about, or I've ever heard about. I don't personally know her, but I did watch this documentary with her in it, and it is it takes your breath away what she went through. You know, her describing how she's out of her body and how she's staring at the stars. She knows that if she does not focus on the pain and she gets herself to a point where it's not really happening to her in her mind, she has a better chance of survival because her body will not go into shock. So she did recover. It took her quite a while. But I also think it's fascinating that when that investigator came in, she ripped that feeding tube out of her throat and said, "I want to talk to you," and then wrote it down on paper. Incredible story. Incredible story. So if you're having a bad day, I like to think about her whenever I'm feeling like down or, you know, lazy, or I don't want to do something. I'm thinking, oh God, you know, this woman, she survived. let them out. Let them rest. And our lower back, down to our thighs and buttocks, trying to squeeze any muscle, let everything go. Let everything go. And down to your calves. And release your toes one by one. Do not grab on with your foot. Just let all of your tension just go out of your body. Nice and simple. Nice and easy. Take it easy. Give your body this little break. This 15-minute break. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself